Hey guys, today, special video. Today we are reviewing the Bluetti Elite 100 V2 generator. They were kind enough to send this over to us, and after I played around with it a little bit, I gotta say, amazing. So, gonna go over some of the details, some of the abilities of the product itself, and I think the best way to show this thing off is take it off into the forest. Arnak is my cameraman today.
Hello.
And I've kidnapped him and forced to be part of this, right, Arnak?
Yes.
So, we're gonna suit up, go into the forest, and you're gonna join us.
Yay.
So, this generator right here, amazing. Let me just go over the first thing. It's light. One-handed, dominant hand, boom. This is about 25 pounds. You can sling it over your shoulder, take it wherever you need to take it. Normally with generators, I've always subscribed to the bigger generator is better generator. However, if you have a massive generator, you're not throwing that thing over your shoulder and going camping for the weekend, or you're not taking it outside to just use, you know? There are times where, at least me, we've been outside recording videos, going here, going there. How often does your phone die, Arnak?
A lot.
Quite a bit. You know, it'd be great if we just had a portable way to charge our phones when we're outside in the forest doing something. And now we have one with this product. So, a couple things about it. There are a lot of ways to charge this bad boy. First, you have your standard, regular, plug it into the wall, charging situation. It's great. Second, you have all of these. So, you have the dual. That's for your car, that's for solar panels. This thing is able to be powered by solar panels, 1,000 watts, right into this bad boy. And then you have your other charging ports. You have your cigarette lighter one. You're too young to remember this, Arnak, but cars used to have little lighters that you would plug in here. Now, obviously, that's not what this is for. This is for car chargers. It has your iPhone chargers to plug in proper, to plug in the new ones, and it has regular old charging ports. We're going to show this all off, but first let me just turn it on. And look at that. Ours is fully charged. And this thing will last you hours. Hours upon hours. So, and here's a really interesting thing. Let me pull out the charger. So, here with me, I have a regular old iPhone charger. I'm going to plug it right in. And, oh, let me pull out this random stranger's iPhone that I found. I wonder whose it is. Interesting. So, I'm gonna plug it in. Oh, why isn't it charging? You know why, Arnak? Because this great feature. You have to press AC, it turns on, and now your phone's charging. This is so you can have all your stuff plugged in and not have to worry about it just taking up charge. You know, it's not wasting energy. Now, let's say Arnak's been a bad boy and I don't want to charge his phone anymore. I press this, and boom, no more charge for Arnak. Now, one really great thing about this that I've noticed, look how big the charging spaces are in between them. You could have a charger like an iPhone, not an iPhone, one of those bigger laptop chargers, or anything that takes up space, and you could still fit all 4 chargers, which is great. Now, let's say I left this at home, as I often do. You know how many of these I've lost, Arnak?
No.
A lot. A lot. So let's say I don't have them. I plug it in like this, plug in your phone, and now I press DC, because these are your DC outputs. Boom. Phone is charging once again. So, let's take this into the forest, talk a little bit more about it, and show off some of its off-the-grid capacity. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna sling this over my shoulder, grab this. See how easy this is? Just traveling with this thing. So, we're gonna toss into the Kawasaki, and we are heading into the forest. Me, Arnak, and the generator. Alright, let's go, Arnak. I was trying to be cool for Arnak and like drive through a puddle real quickly and have it splash up the sides. And instead it just splashed all over us. I don't know if it was visible. Did you catch it on video, Arnak?
I did.
Perfect, thank you. Wow, that... Okay, so I gotta keep driving, but I just figured, like, look at my glasses. We got soaked.
Yeah.
We got soaked. Clean water though, so I mean, you know, peaks, pits and peaks. All right, let's keep going. So, we are finally here. And it's time to pull out this bad boy, set him up, and make us a nice cup of tea. Do you like tea, Arnak?
Yes.
That's a lie. But, a couple other things about this generator right here. When you think, like, when we live down here, something we always have to worry about, blackouts, you know? How I've always said, every time it rains, or the wind gets real strong, the power's out for at least a couple hours. Right, Arnak? Like,
Yeah.
how often has it turned... Yesterday, how many times did it turn off yesterday?
A bunch of
Like
times.
three to four times. You know, and we're very fortunate. We have a large propane generator. Some people aren't. For some people, this will be perfect. One great thing about this, you can't hear it charging. It charges like a mouse. Quiet. So, we're going to set this up, and we're going to pull out our tea. So, I got a bottle of water. I've got a mug, tea bags, and wrong pocket. There we go. And I got kettle power. So, close this up. Alright, so now I'm just going to plug in this right here. Move it a little bit back. Kettle, turn on the power, and turn on AC. There we go. Now, pop the kettle right on. Then pour in some agua. That's the last of the water. I'm gonna turn this on. Lid up. And now we wait. As we wait, I just want to point out, look how beautiful everything is. I'm gonna record the sky. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Look how blue. It's all shades of blue and green. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, now we're just waiting for this to charge up. And I'll let you know. You can already hear it if you listen carefully. Bring it closer. Let's see. Let's take the lid off and show the people. Oh, there's nothing to show right now, but it is heating up. Water is nice and boily. Now, pour up the water. And now we wait. And there we are. Wonderful generator, just got us some tea in the middle of the forest. No electricity whatsoever. But what do you think was easier, Arnak, if we started a fire to make some tea or if we just used this generator?
Using the generator.
Very hot. But there we are. one great feature that I didn't mention was when you're off-road with this thing, there's only one way to charge your generator, and that's with your car, right? And so you would unplug this, it comes with the charging, you plug that in, plug it into your car, and boom. That is the quickest way to charge this bad boy up. So, one thing that I need to mention, again, I feel like I didn't mention it enough, how useful this will be in so many situations. Ideally, you use this thing for like a 2 to 3 hour blackout, which is pretty average, and you charge it right back up, and you have no problems. You know, you can use your car in emergency situations. Your car has gas. You can charge it up if you really need to. Like when we had that big hurricane. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? But when that happened, we were very fortunate that we had our generator. If we weren't, this thing would have been amazing. Charging our phones so we can so we can text, so we can make sure, you know, we know what's going on. Because we would always get messages from the state and that kind of thing, like, this is happening, this is happening. But incredibly important, like I can't understate that. But I think this is a great generator. I would personally recommend it. Because one thing I really want to do, I want to start fishing. I really want to start fishing because we have a beautiful lake. We have some great river right next to us. Why not, right? Arnak, would you join me if I went fishing?
Yeah.
Would you really?
Yeah, I would.
Because I have no clue what to do. I think that'd be a very funny video on its own. I try to fish and catch. Do they still do that in cartoons, Arnak, where people go fishing and like they catch an old boot?
I sometimes, yeah.
Good. But that's kind of it with this one. You know, I highly recommend it. They're having a deal for Amazon Prime Day on July 8th. Check it out. I'll put a link in my description. You know, I highly recommend it. But, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, that's it.